Did you know that in GameMaker, you can take instances within a room and space them out equally in the room using just the click of a button? Stay tuned to find out more. Okay, so let's have some fun with the inspector. You can see here I've got an empty room with one instance of this apple here. In order to open the inspector, by default it's hidden. We're going to go into Windows and then Inspector to open up the inspector. Usually opens in the same window here, but I like to give it its own window. So I'm going to click the top and drag it over. So now I've got the inspector in its own pane. So let's take a look at some of the things that this can do. The first thing you'll see is just the sprite of the apple. Next down, you'll have the properties, which we can adjust to have custom properties on this individual instance. We can align it, use the align buttons to align it to the top of the room, the center of the room, the bottom of the room. You can distribute vertically, which we'll come back to the left, to the center, or to the right horizontally. So if we wanted the apple in the center of the room, rather than doing the guesswork of trying to figure out where the center of the room is here, we can just align it to the center vertically and horizontally. And now we know our apple's in the center of the room. We could also change the scale here if we wanted. Have different X and Y values to make an extra large apple. I'm gonna move that back down to 1. We could also give it a new color blend. So if we want a more red apple, or a yellow apple, or a pink apple, fuchsia, we can do that here as well. We can change the rotation of the apple by clicking on the gizmo for rotation. We can flip it across the x-axis, which is hard to see here, or the y. Make the apple upside down. If the apple has multiple frames for animation, we can select what frame is being shown here and how fast the animation should play over here. But I want to focus on the alignment because I think this is something that's underutilized in GameMaker. So I'm going to go back to the assets, and you saw how we can center align the apple within the room vertically and horizontally to put it in the very center. What if you had a couple more instances, like an orange and a coconut, and you want these to be 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3? Well, one of them will be in the center, and one of them will be somewhere over here, and one of them will be somewhere over here. But again, we could take the guesswork out of that. So if we wanted to look at multiple instances in the inspector, we can hold down Shift and select all of the instances that we would like to align. We can go back into our inspector. Now, all of the alignment buttons will apply to our entire selection of instances here. So if we wanted to align them all to the center, we can click it. If we wanted to align them all to the top, we can do that as well. To the bottom, we can left align, center, or to the right. I'm going to put them in the center and in the center. So now all 3 instances are in the very center of the room, but now we want to try out one of these new buttons. So I'm going to first distribute them vertically, and you can see that GameMaker knew that there were 3 instances selected, so it distributed them equally within the room according to their points of origin. So we've got an apple 1/3 down, 1/3 down, 1/3 down within the room. We could also center them back and distribute them horizontally. So now we have what we wanted in the first place, which was 3 instances in the room, an apple, an orange, and a coconut distributed equally in the center of the room, 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3.